Melissa, where are you living right now? Where is your home?
I live in deep East Texas. So I live in a little town, Lufkin, Texas. So I'm about an hour and a half north from Houston.
Yes.
Houston is where we go if we want to shop or eat sushi.
Right.
We go to Houston.
But you don't want to get in the business all the time. You can go back. Well, let me ask you something.
I would say this. I drive through Lufkin to get home. My mom lives in Longview. So that's like,
You do.
yeah, we drive right through Lufkin to get
So
home.
some of my good friends used to be in Lufkin. I think they've moved now. Walker McWilliams and his wife.
Oh, I know a lot of McWilliams, but I don't know a Walker specifically.
And he and his wife, Caitlin, lived, I believe he was the youth minister at one of the churches or a missions pastor.
All I know is Lufkin has some McAllisters. We're talking about Mick, and we'd always stop there.
You know what else Lufkin has?
What?
Lufkin has a Belk.
Oh, yeah.
A Belk. Do you shop there?
Sort of.
Oh.
Sort of. It's the weirdest Belk you've ever been in. You walk in and you would think they were going out of business the very next day. It's the weirdest thing.
That's so sad. It's like at Dillard's.
Barely hanging on.
Okay, my dog is here, but he's asleep. I hope he doesn't start squeaking on a toy, but he's asleep right now.
No, it's all good.
It's totally fine. It's good.
So are you ready? When we change things up on Jennifer, she comes in real nervous. So
it's like it's my first time to ever do this every time because
she also walked in. She's like, "Oh, is she not here?" I'm like, "Nope, it's a Zoom." She's like, "Okay, great."
Well, at least the last time it was people, and he had the video all the way down to my knees, and I didn't even wear any supportive gear.
Listen,
if you know what I mean.
You're halfway hidden behind the laptop, so you're fine.
Yes, it's just my face.
Yes.
So
let's get started. Let's go. Hello, and welcome to the Almost Amazing podcast from the City Rise Network. Hosted by Jennifer Dennis and produced by me, Justin Kello, we're a podcast that was supposed to be focused on parenting, but we've kind of lost the plot along the way. Honestly, we don't know what this podcast is about, but we talk to incredible people who love Jesus, and our hope is to provide encouragement and fun whenever possible. If our lack of clear direction bothers you, we apologize, but no one is making you listen to this podcast, unless you're married to Jennifer. Andy, thanks for listening.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Almost Amazing podcast. We're excited to have you here. And even though we're only seeing you every other week now, we miss you, we think about you, and we're excited to be with you today.
Yes.
Justin,
I'm here.
You are missing your wheels.
My wheels on my boot.
Finally off the boot.
I am. I'm still hobbling a little bit. And I survived Universal Studios on a scooter.
How did that go? How was that? I was going to ask you.
Here's the deal about if you don't know, if you're just listening for the first time, I had foot surgery. I was off it for 6 weeks and then I had to hobble around. And so we had scheduled Universal and I was like, oh, I should be ready to go to Universal because the guy was like, yeah, you're just off your foot for 5 weeks. He failed to mention like rehabilitation and physical therapy and like there's no way you can walk around all day on it for another like 4 months. I was like, you didn't tell me this. Fortunately, Orlando, Florida is full of people who can't walk.
I cannot say that enough. Being to Disney World in the last couple of years.
Yeah. And so they have companies that you can just order a scooter and they'll deliver it to your hotel. And so they just delivered to my hotel and we scooted out and rode the bus in every day. I had to hobble a little bit through the lines. I could have forced my family to push me in a transfer wheelchair that they keep at each ride. I did not force them to do that, so I hobbled through. I will say I was self-conscious because like I just wanted to hold my boot up the whole time and be like, this is why I'm not lazy. My foot is hurt. Like I didn't want to be judged because, you know, I'm a bigger guy. You know, there's kind of a
I don't think I think they would look at you and think it's an injury.
And I was like, you got to see my foot. It's got a boot on it.
And if you were going to want to really be out of it, you would be kind of on one of those little scooters. Like you were not doing
it was a motorized scooter.
Oh, you definitely
it was a motorized scooter with a fan, a phone holder, a basket on the front and back. Like it was a
Let me say
scooter.
that about that. We got caught behind a few of those people where they had several of those folks in their family.
Oh, in a train, yeah.
And they would just like completely, and they couldn't like make a line.
Yeah.
So they're just like blocking your way and you're trying to like, how do we get around this?
I mean, I was
it's
on
like a motorcade.
Yes. And it was tough because like on Monday, like Thursday wasn't bad. Friday was really crowded. No one sees you. So like you can't like when it was so weird because I'm a tall person. I'm a big person. I can elbow my way through a crowd. With this scooter, nobody saw or cared about my existence. And so I'm like trying to like, excuse me, beep, excuse me. And it was like, it
drive you crazy.
It wasn't great. The other thing about what I'm experiencing is as I'm getting recovered, but I'm still hobbling, I have the temporary temporary handicap parking, I still can't walk across a parking lot. But I'm like a healthy, 37-year-old man. I get out of this car and my foot doesn't hurt that bad, but I could not walk.
And you're not on a wheel anymore.
So I feel obligated to really like play up the limp when I go to like the grocery so that nobody asks questions. I'm just so aware of being perceived when before I didn't care. Like I was in the scooter universal. I was like, I hope people don't think I'm like lazy. I'm hobbling through the parking lot. I'm like, I hope people don't know that I really need this parking spot. I'm not just like taking it like advantage of it.
Of course.
So like I really like play up the limp and really look like I'm hurting because it does hurt, but whatever. So it's been a real journey and it's not done yet, dude. Like I started physical therapy and I'm hanging out with a sweet guy that's just like trying to be encouraging. And, it's funny when you go into a science world like doctors and physical therapists, they're very left brain, but then they also have to be personable. And my guy is trying so hard to be personable, but I don't know if it comes naturally to him.
Right. He's trying really hard to connect and help you feel better. And
you're with them for an hour. You're with them for an hour.
That is a long time. That's a long time to be with somebody in niceties.
There's a lot of stuff that's funny about this whole process, but I am hobbling around. I'm not rolling. I'm not on crutches. So I'm thankful for that.
Well, good for you. Good for you coming out to the other side.
I feel like I haven't seen you in a while though. Like, what are you up to? What is going on? This will come out after your next big event. So we'll just say that event went great. Everyone loved it. It was the greatest fall festival of all time.
It was the greatest fall festival that's happening tomorrow.
Yes.
It was amazing. And it took a lot of work and a lot of focus. And so... yeah.
Is your team like solidified? I mean, this is a big event brings a new team together.
Let me tell you about our new team. And we've talked about this before. We've had a couple on. I just love them. They're working hard. They love what they're doing. They love the church. And I am just thrilled to be with them. And it's really a fun new season. Mm-hmm. And as we get ready for, the holidays, they're on board, they're eager. And so that's just a huge praise. As for me, what am I doing? I'm getting adjusted to life as an empty nester when you realize, you're not needed. Nobody's needing something from you outside of walking the dog.
Yes, you have a dog.
Outside of work, you come home and it's like, and Andy and I, we love to hang out. We'll have dinner and then you're just sort of like, have this space. And so it's figuring out how to fill that space or who are you in this? And so I'm figuring that out. I think it'll take time. I'm not too worried about it. And I'm not as emotional now. I was emotional for the first couple of months and sad and cried really hard, especially in the middle of the night. I would get up and go to the bathroom and just cry. And that's ended finally.
Great.
And so I think I'm in a new kind of cool space.
Yeah.
And so,
did you wake up today with the crisp air and just like feel a rejuvenated spirit?
There is nothing that puts me in a better mood than the fall cold snap after relentless heat.
Yeah.
And I think I've said this before on the show. I can handle 100 degrees in August better than I can handle 94 in October.
It's just frustrating.
It just makes you it's like not fair.
It's like a kick in the shins. You're just like, what are you
come
doing?
on.
What are you
Come
doing?
on. So the weather being crisp outside and I'm in a sweater.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yay.
It's like the Holy Spirit's moving. It feels so good outside.
Out of the stifling heat. And someone, I think Mary Ellen today said, well, it's getting up to 80s. I'm like, you be quiet now.
This is false fall. It's the fake fall that we have before it's hot again.
It is the faux fall.
Yeah.
But it's really good. And so it's a good season. I'm feeling really good. I haven't had a pumpkin spice latte. Have you?
I'm not a pumpkin spice latte person.
I should have guessed that. I would guess that about you.
Yeah, I'm not into it. But your admin made these pumpkin muffins the other day.
She's a baker.
They were incredible.
She's a baker. And I'll tell you, Anna Lauren baked. And
I'm glad that we got a new baker.
As Anna Lauren was leaving, that was one of the sad pieces. Yes. I was like, well, there goes all my home
very concerning
cooked baked items. And so when Emma came on the team, I'm like, oh,
here she is.
You are a baker. And she loves to bake, Justin.
Delicious.
She does it on purpose.
She's great at it.
It's not even for an assignment.
She's
it's just for funsies.
She's great at it.
It's delicious. So God, this is what I'm saying. God is faithful. When we feel like there's so much uncertainty, He is faithful.
He will bring a baker to your heart.
Speaking about God's faithfulness.
Yes. I guess. We have been faithful to reach out to this person.
Speaking about
talk to them.
People who bring sweetness to your life.
That's good.
Today, our interview is going to be very sweet. I think you guys are going to really enjoy who we have planned, and it's going to help us to look forward to things to come. All right, everybody, we're so excited today because we have our lovely speaker from Table Grace on the show today. As you know, Kristen is killing it. Kristen Campbell is killing it in women's ministry.
Yes.
When she listed off the things that they are doing to minister in this community, I'm just so excited. And Table Grace is no different. And today I want to introduce you to you, writer, speaker, other talented and gifted Melissa Radke.
Hooray!
Hi, guys. I'm so happy to be here with you both. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. In fact, I've had several people say how excited they are that you're coming. They cannot wait to get back to Table Grace. We didn't have it last year. We had some construction. And so to have the event back with an incredible, light, fun, positive speaker, we're thrilled. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been doing.
Well, first of all, the fact that y'all didn't have it last year and because you had construction going on and then you have it this year and I'm the one.
You got to bring it back. Melissa, you got to bring it back.
Both terrifies me and honors me like all in one. So thank y'all for having me. I'm actually very, very excited about it. Spring is huge for speaking engagements. But the fall is not as busy. And so, I was excited when I found out that I'm doing this. I'm really hyped up to be there. I hope that your women are ready to lean in and laugh a whole lot because I do bring a little bit of humor with me wherever I go.
Amen.
But as far as what I've been doing, of course, I do a lot of stuff online. I feel like I live my life, as my mother would say. Melissa, you just live your whole life online. It's not safe. Although, she has no clue what I do. Okay. I can talk about my mother all day, every day. She'll never know because she doesn't ever get online and look at my
Same
stuff.
thing. I don't think my mom's ever seen this podcast. Never.
Yeah. Of course, my husband and I have a morning show that we do on YouTube. We have a lot of fun with that. But really what I do in my downtime is I write and I speak. So I travel all over the United States. I'm a speaker, but I also write books. I had a book come out a couple of years ago called Eat Cake, Be Brave. And then my next book comes out this coming April. So April 25, April of 2025. And it's called Chicken Fried Women. It's Chicken Fried Women, Friendship, Kinship, and the Women That Made Us This Way. And it is about female relationships and the importance of them in our life. And so that's really when you say, what have you been doing? That's what I've been doing. You know how many edits a girl got to go through when she is from backwoods, East Texas, and she writes like she talks? So there's a lot of corrections for them to make. But that's what I'm doing. I'm writing Bible studies. I do online courses for women. I write Bible studies. So it's no different than if you went into Barnes & Noble and found yourself a great Bible study book. I just do these online where I teach them to women. And so I'm busy.
I can tell that you have an incredible, just effervescent personality, lots of great energy and humor. So it's so wild to me to see people who are so outgoing or are connective also have this piece of them that writes intensively and can be in a cave just writing.
I know. That's weird, right? But David says, my husband David, says that's because I have so many different personalities.
Usually that's more of a red flag, but I think with you, it's really working out.
Well, I do like it. That's how I kind of refuel is by being by myself and being creative. On top of all of that, look, I'm a mom. I have a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old. I got one that just learned to drive. I got to get out. I got to get it out onto the paper, right? So I write about my life, and I don't find that it is just another part of my personality. But I am a golden retriever for the love of Pete. I even look like one today. Look at me. I'm literally dressed all one color as my hair.
Something I'm always interested to know is people who write, like what prompted that first book? Like how did you get started? And like, what led you to think I got something to say, I'm going to write it down? Like, it's such a weird place, I think, for anybody to find themselves in. And I'd love to hear how you got to that point.
Okay. Interesting little backstory. I had a video. I made a video one day, came home. I'd been eating Mexican food with my best friend, and we had been talking about the fact that it was Red Ribbon Week at my kids' school. Do y'all know what Red Ribbon Week is? Okay.
Is it drug awareness?
Drug awareness. You got to dress your kid like a minion one day. You got to dress them like, you know, a policeman one day. All this stuff. My kids were younger, and I was just dreading it like the plague. And I said, I'm going to go home tonight and make a video about Red Ribbon Week. I had, at this moment, never made a video to put up on the internet ever. First time I ever did anything like this. That video today, as of today, has 150 million views.
You know what? It's funny that you say that, because I'm wondering is it made its way to TikTok yet?
Oh, I don't know.
I wonder if it's on just a little bit of a moment. Justin and I watch TikTok videos.
Occasionally, not much.
Occasionally. Whatever, Justin. Anyway.
Don't be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed.
It's embarrassing. And my husband tries to throw me under the bus every conversation I'll say. You know, I heard so-and-so. He goes, where'd you hear that, Jennifer? And he wants me to tell a whole
short
group
documentary,
of adults.
a very short documentary that I watched.
Andy, back to counseling for us. So that's hysterical that you said that about Red Ribbon Week, because it's really, you try to figure out how dressing like a minion will help your child not to do drugs.
It doesn't make any sense.
I think I've seen her video.
Maybe.
Because I remember thinking, she's right.
It drives the parents who want to do drugs or drink heavily, is what it does. Anyway, back to Justin's question. So I made it just changed my life. That video changed my life. After that, I started making videos online, and they were getting a lot of reception. And I happened to I realized that humor was the way to go. So I was making all these funny videos. But then one night, I made a very serious one. And it was a video about the year that I turned 41. And I told a story about how I had lived in Nashville with dreams of being in the music industry because I'm a singer. But Nashville did not really care they loved the way I sang. They did not like the way I look. I'm a plus size woman. And this was before Adele, right? This was before these beauties that are coming out now. And so I came back home to Luskin with my tail between my legs with a lot of broken dreams. And I decided the year that I turned 41, I was going to change that I was going to walk in courage and confidence, and whatever God asked me to do, I was going to say yes. For 1 year, I would give it 1 year, God. I'll be obedient and I'll say yes to absolutely everything you have for me for 1 year. And I made that video and I put it up, and it was a literary agent who saw that and said, I watched that video and I think there's a book there. Now, what she did not know is that I had been writing, you guys, when I die, God help the man who finds the journals in my closet, okay? Because there are just stacks and stacks and stacks. I have written my whole life. This was not a shock to me that someone would say, let's put it in a book. I knew from a young age I would probably write at some point in my life. I just didn't know anybody would ever be asking for it. So that is what I wrote on. The story of that video and what that video meant, it was what Eat, Cake, Be Brave was about. It was about the night I blew out the candles on my birthday, the year I turned 41, and made a wish. And my wish was to be brave by following my purpose and the call for my life, right? So when that book came out, I think that a bunch of people read it and went, oh, she's not just a one-hit wonder. She's not just the red ribbon mom. Like, she actually can do something. She can write. And so that's how the second book deal came through, and I ended up writing Chicken Fried Women.
That's incredible. What an amazing journey, and what a great testimony, and what a great challenge. I think the ladies are going to just be so inspired, obviously entertained, but inspired by your story. And I just think I'm so excited. I'll be there. I'm going. I'm actually doing door prizes, I think.
I won't be there.
Do y'all have like round tables? Is that how it is? And there's like 10 women to a table, that kind of thing?
It's 10 women to a table. And at every table, they're all decorated uniquely and beautifully. So,
I love that.
Yes.
Oh, I've seen that before. Okay. What is your table? What is the theme for your table?
So I'm at a table, and I believe their theme, I'm not decorating this year, their theme that they are they're putting on the table is classic Christmas. And I think that's one. I think I did one that was hipster wedding one year. I've been to one
hipster wedding.
Yes, it was like lavender. What's the
mason jars and stuff?
Mason jars,
and burlap. And,
burlap.
Yeah.
Hipster wedding. And then one year, and macaroons, purple macaroons that year. The 2 years ago was my favorite we've ever done because we did a bakery theme and we all dressed in aprons and we all made our favorite cakes and cookies and all of our decoration.
Your table. I would sit there.
It was amazing. And all the other ladies came up and looked at our table. And you know what's so sad is we did not offer them one cookie, Justin. And I think that's where the Lord really dealt with me later. But you'll walk around, and if you come and get a second, you'll get to walk through. When you arrive, Kristen will show you through to the tables. And some are like so beautiful and perfect. And you've just got your camera out, Some ladies did a spaceship one year. They turned their table into a spaceship. Yes.
Okay. I have to tell you a very funny story. So the church, when I lived in Nashville, the church that we attended did that. And they specifically came up to my girlfriends and I because we were, you want to make sure that the senior citizens have a table, but then also some of the younger girls have a table.
Right.
And some of the single, everybody's represented. So they came up to us and we were all young, newly married. And they said, would y'all do a table? And we said, sure. But then we started finding out how everybody's bringing out their teacups and beads and pearls. And we're like, we're barely making it. Like, we're all broke. Okay. So we came up with the idea that we would do a table called Dirt Poor. And it would be red solo cups and paper plate. And it would be jugs of Coke sitting or even better than that, Dr. Thunder or Royal Cola. It would be, and we had pink flamingos because you would see those in people's yards.
The yard ornaments.
I don't want to offend anybody, but it was the most white trash thing hillbilly table you have ever seen in your life. Now, on that particular day, I got called at the last minute when it was time to decorate by my hairstylist, and she had an opening. So I had to go because that was very important. I had to go get my hair done. So I did not decorate for this table at all. That night we get to the women's event, and I cannot tell you the number of people who walked up to the table and said, Melissa, I know you did this table because it is so creative, girl. You are so creative. It's wonderful. And I was like, thank you so much. No one ever congratulated my friends on coming up with the idea. No one ever told them what a good job. Everyone gave me praise for something I had nothing to do with. And my girlfriends have never forgotten.
They never let that go. Oh,
no, not ever.
But if you have a hair lady, you cannot. If you find the hair lady,
like bro code, but for women,
it's true. If you're in I know people who will travel hours. There's one lady that comes from England twice a year, and this friend of mine gets her hair done. No joke. So I understand the getting to the hair appointment. Yes. Yeah. I obviously am not. I'm not doing
my hair lady is, I'm in between hair ladies right now. So
you're in between hair ladies. There's a story there, Justin. Did you offend your last hair lady?
No, it's just pro cuts. And, I just show whoever's there.
Rotate in and out so much.
They do rotate in and out. Yeah.
Well, I can tell already that this is going to be a wonderful celebratory evening, and we're super excited. If you want now, so a lot of our ladies listen to this podcast. Kristen sends it out to everyone that is signed up. Is there a message that you would have for them as we are about to prepare for the event?
I think a lot of times people will say, what is it you're speaking on? What's your theme? And I don't really necessarily have a title, so to speak, but one of the things that I touch on in my book that's coming out in April, it is on female relationships, but there are chapters on the toxic friendship and how to spot that, but there's also chapters on how we see God so often through some of our friendships. How he shows up, how we are blessed and see his goodness a lot of times through the women in our lives. And so I would say to anybody who's maybe even on the fence, should they come, should they not come? What a time to be reminded that not only is God good, but so are the people that he has placed in your life for this season. Look, I'm not naive enough to think that the women, the girls, the female friendships we had in the first grade are still going to be the female friendships we have at 51. I realize that life changes and seasons come and go. But God is so good and so faithful. And oftentimes he speaks to us through the connections that we have within the body of Christ, within our community. And I want women to enjoy hearing some of those stories. The truth of the matter is, before I blew out the candles on my 41st birthday cake, you need to know that there was so much grief and pain in my life. We had just a few years before buried a child that we had wanted so desperately bad. And it was women who loved me well. It was female friends who held my arms up when I could not hold them up myself. So this theme of female friendships runs through both of those books. In fact, my first book had a chapter in it called Chicken Fried Women. And the chapter was simply this. It was about a conversation that happened in my kitchen with my mother, my Aunt Melba Joy, my cousin, my granny, and me. And I put that chapter in there thinking that it was going to be a buried chapter. Nobody would really ever even talk about it. At book signings, at readings, whatever, book lines, women would come up and they would say, "Oh, that chapter about chicken fried women. Oh my gosh, that reminded me of me and my people. That reminded me of me and my aunts. That reminded me of me and my granny or my sisters." They saw themselves through our connection. They saw themselves through our family, through our relationship. So much so that as a nod to that chapter, my next book is about, it's called Chicken Fried Women, and it's about those relationships. And I'm saying this to the women listening today, you have them, whether you will admit that or not, whether you will break down your walls and allow yourself to be loved on and to be wooed. That is a personal thing, but you have them in your life. Oh no, I don't, Melissa. Oh no, I don't. I don't have relationships like that. Well, let's figure out why. Let's talk about that. Why don't you? Because God never intended us for us to do life alone. Do you think? Because I don't think that he ever intended for us to do life alone. But for some reason, women are scared. And I get it. Adult friendships are hard. But man, are they a blessing. And I believe that, I'm sorry, that is my dog.
Whatever.
His name is Dr. Garrett.
Whatever, Melissa.
I named him after the doctor on Grey's Anatomy. Okay? But anyway, that's what I would want women to know. To come and find community and friendship, whether you have been in church every single Sunday or you hadn't been in years. This is a moment for you to find community and love and friendship, women who can hold your arms up when the stress of life and the grief of life and pain has made you want to drop them. They're out there. How do you know? They're not looking for you as much as you're looking for them.
Amen. Wow. That's really powerful. That's going to be so powerful. I'm so looking forward to having you come. And if you want to know more information, regrettably, I think our event is full.
There is a waiting list. If you go to cityrise.org/table grace, you can do that. But we want to know where our people can find information about you and where all of your great videos are posted and all the information about your ministry.
Asking. Of course, they can go to melissaradke.com, which is a lot of things that they can find out information about me or anything like that. But they can also follow me on Facebook, Melissa Radke. They can follow me on Instagram at Miss Melissa Radke. David is so mad about that because Melissa Radke was already taken. So I put in MS Melissa Radke.
Makes you sound really single.
Yeah, he's like, we've been married 30 years. But I just wanted to make it easy. So Miss Melissa Radke on Instagram, or I'm on TikTok I'm not super faithful to TikTok, but I got 400,000 followers on there, and they get mad
That's
about it. if I don't show up.
impressive.
Goodness gracious.
We'll find you. We'll find you
That's a
on
lot
there.
of people to ignore. You need to get on there.
400,000 followers.
But I'm on all those social media platforms living what I hope is a true, authentic life of a woman who doesn't always get it right. She likes to wear jeans with elastic in the waist, and she's parenting her kids the best she can, loving her husband the best she can, and serving God faithfully. And hopefully, I'm their new best friend.
Well, amen. I was just thinking, I think every woman there is going to leave wishing you were their best friend, but with great inspiration to really build those connections and friendships. So we're excited that you're coming. We'll be praying for you as you prepare and get ready to be here. And thank you so
Do you have
much.
a final question?
It's the final question.
It's our 161st episode or something.
It's our 161st
I don't know if it's I don't know if that's a number, but we've had a lot. And
Melissa, I have the question. What is your biggest regrettable fashion season of your life? When you look back, you're like, oh.
And we'll go first while you're thinking. We'll all answer the question.
Was I thinking?
I'll answer the question. I don't think anyone looks back on middle school and thinks I did a good job there. I just don't know if there's a human in history. It's like I was really killing it in middle school. But when I was in middle school, the frosted tips were very popular. And
You had frosted tips?
Talking about doing our hair earlier, I did have growing up, I had the same hair cutter for my entire life. Like his name was Trey. Trey Young. Trey Young cut my hair.
Cutter.
Trey Young was my hair cutter, and he was awesome. And I went in 7th grade year, and I was like, I got to get these frosted tips. And so they put the cap on, and they pulled them out with the little hooks, and it was an intense process, but it was the coolest I've ever felt.
You've never been cooler.
I know it was the coolest I've ever felt. Absolutely, but it wasn't that cool.
It was. I think I would say. At the beginning of high school, I don't know what happened to me. I got into a phase where I got into this club called Beta Club. It's like NHS for the rest of people in Texas, but in the Southeast, it was called Beta Club, and that means that you got good grades. And I had never really gotten good grades, and I don't know how the timing fit to where I got into this club. It was shocking to my whole family. We didn't understand it, but I got a sweatshirt. It was a gold sweatshirt and the black on it. And I'm not kidding you. Like, Melissa, I wore that thing every day, I think, for 3 months. And finally, my mom said, this is it. This is over. Like, this is it. This is not your cute outfit. I got removed from the club because another report card came out. But there was a solid month and a half where I wore that gold sweatshirt every day with a pair of black, like, stretchy pants.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say, and I was removed from the club because it reeked of body odor and they couldn't have me.
Nope, it was my grade because we were reading The Outsiders and I didn't do as well with that.
What? Okay.
So, Melissa, tell us your most regrettable fashion season.
Well, I'm with you. Middle school was pretty rough. When David and I first started dating, he came to my house and saw my school picture from the 11th grade. Oh, that's not middle school. Well, that's bad. Anyway, it was about a school picture from the 11th grade, and he said, talk about a full circle moment, Justin. He said, I look like an employee from Supercut. That's what he said. But I always let my mother dress me on school picture day. What in the world was I thinking? Anyway, but y'all, when that Rachel haircut came out.
Oh, yes. The Rachel.
I was going to get it. As my mother would say, I was going to have it or die trying. Okay? And I went and I got it, or so I thought.
Oh.
And the first person I went to when I got my Rachel haircut was my cousin Meredith. And she looked right at me and she said, that looks just like Carol Brady.
Carol Brady.
Wrong TV show.
It wasn't anything like, and it was like 70s Carol Brady when she had it real thin, but then it like flips out at the bottom.
Yes.
It was horrible. And I had to live with that because so much hair had to grow back in. Here's my word here's my piece of wisdom. If Jennifer Aniston is wearing it, mere mortals should not try. Okay? And
it's not
end with
necessarily for everyone. Yes, exactly. Well, thank you. We love that. And we are so glad we're friends with you now. And we're looking forward to meeting you in person, or at least I am.
I'm not invited.
You're not invited. So many blessings. And thank you for being with us today.
I was happy to do it anytime, you guys. I cannot wait to meet you in person. I'll see you.
Woo! See you later. All right. Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Thank you for being with us today. We hope you've had an almost amazing time on the Almost Amazing podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Almost Amazing podcast from the City Rise Network based in Houston, Texas. City Rise is a partnership of church campuses, nonprofits, and missionaries devoted to lifting our city and the world by generously giving the gospel of Jesus Christ. For more information or to find a church campus close to you in the Houston area, visit cityrise.org.